Hey, what's up? It's Greg from Fish from Tech Orders, and today is Wednesday, October 23rd. I'm up here in the Mid-Island Surf taking a stroll here shortly after the 7:30 time frame. I think it's about 7:30, 8 o'clock right now. Just dropped a little guy off the bus, decided to take a stroll up to the beach here, share an updated fish report with you folks. Right now, as you see behind me, got a little bit of motion in the ocean, smaller swell lingering around. It's at about the 2-foot range, but a powerful 2-foot. Yesterday was a little more powerful, say 3 to 4 foot size on occasion with the lully sets. And that swell's been lingering around from this past weekend. We had a pretty big swell Saturday and Sunday, actually Friday as well. It seems like the action on the surf side has been a little on the slower side since that bigger swell. There's a lot of fish getting caught, say, in the past week or so. But this past weekend on Saturday, we had the American Angler Tournament. It was based out of Surf City, but they fished a few different beaches on LBI, and the fish was very poor. Lots of seaweed, lots of big swell, and I don't think any scoring fish. So with that said, I can share there has been a couple striped bass recently caught off the surf. Saw one was checked in at Long Beach Island Surf Fishing Classic from Chris Messino. Also, Gregory Davis shared he had a nice fish. So some of our local customers here that are fishing the surf are picking at some striped bass. It is not happening by any stretch of the imagination, but there are some fish around to be caught. There has been some bluefish on the beach. It seems like that has slowed down. I think I mentioned that in my last report, that the bluefish bite has slowed. Right now the water temperature is right around 60, 61, maybe 62. We've had a little bit of a warmer stretch of weather the last couple days, so things have bounced back a little bit. If you take a look at the tide gauge, you'll see a little bit of a rebound off the, say, recent lows, but for the most part there is a trending downward, say, decline. Had somewhat leveled off here recently due to that, say, more unseasonably warm temperatures, but it's great to see. I got out and did some awesome fishing here the last couple days. I actually didn't get much sleep last night because I got it out, did a little fishing last night, put a few hours in. We got, I guess, it was pretty slow. We got one striped bass, 2 other bites, so I guess you call it 3 bites, 1 to the boat. So we had a little striped bass action there in a boat. I fished on, I guess it was Tuesday. Is it Monday or Tuesday? Both days were beautiful. So today's Wednesday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Was Lake Atlantic conditions, but there was a ground swell. Very, very light winds. Monday also near Lake Atlantic conditions, but there was some ground swell. If you looked at the beaches, you would see that swell. If you're out in the boat, you just see those rollers. But I can share that the sea bass fishing and the porgy fishing was awesome. I had Chef Tom and his wife aboard. That was Monday. Ran out to about 80 foot of water. Got into some really good sea bass action. Bottom fishing with clam, fishing squid, and also fishing sand fleas. Also got a bunch of porgies. We did not get a 3-person limit, but we did get after them and got a good pile of fish in the cooler. We brought home the groceries. So that was a good fun time. Weather was awesome. That was good. I can share the bay has a lot of fish. I know Stuart Stafford Emmett, Frezza, Paul, they've been getting after it and getting to some good quality fishing in the bay side. Mentioning Paul, I know he was also out, it was either yesterday or the day before. I know he ran further up north, got into that Monmouth County striped bass bite that's been happening here for a couple weeks. Hopefully those fish start sliding down. We'll see how that goes. But I can say the stage is set. There's definitely a lot of bait in the area. We haven't had bunker in the shop fresh or mullet because the mullet run's sort of fading out. It's over. Maybe there's a couple tricking around here and there, but for the most part it's over. And we haven't had bunker because the local bunker guys have not been catching. But there is bunker out there. There's also a lot of sand eels out there. Take a look at a post I just threw up on Instagram just the other morning. Maybe it was yesterday. I think it was a photo from yesterday morning, the day before. I can't get my days straight here. Kind of a little groggy without sleeping too much last night. But there was a lot of bait that I had when I was catching some bluefish just the other morning. They were spitting up, bluefish were spitting up snapper blues, spitting up peanut bunker, and all spitting up sand eels. All 3 are great baits to be having in the area in the fall time frame. When the striped bass finally do show up in a little better numbers, hopefully they're feasting on those guys. I know if I was traveling a long distance down the coast, doing my fall migration, I would definitely want to eat up some sand eels. There's a good amount of them. I think I shared my last report when I ran up the beach, there was a lot of sand eels stretched out along LBI and Island Beach State Park and even up to the Monmouth County area. So right now, Central New Jersey has some great fishing opportunities. I would say the #1 best fishing opportunity right now is tog fishing for land-based anglers. Fishing at Barnegat Light, fish green crabs, fish sand fleas. Those are 2 great baits. You can fish a jig or a rig. Stop by Fisherman's Headquarters. We get you geared up with more details for that. If you're looking to get into, say, some fishing in the ocean, I would say your best bet's probably going to be sea bass fishing on the wrecks. Obviously, fluke is closed, but sea bass and also porgies open. It's 10 fish at 12.5 on sea bass, 10 inches on the porgy. I think it's 30 fish a guy. It's a whole lot. But you can get out there and have some fun. What I will share is right now it is at the lower tide. You see there's a little grass line up over here at that little bit of a berm. Kind of turn this way. As you see, the water's really pulled out here at the low tide. Low is at 6:30. I'm really sure it's right about 8 o'clock when I'm shooting this report because I dropped my little guy off the bus at 7:30. Just came right up here. This guy right about 8 o'clock. So we have the incoming tide. It is still on the lower side. 1 o'clock is high tide today. Once again, today is Wednesday, October 23rd. And I guess you also are going to have another low tide around 7:30 this evening. I don't really see that very often. Little ghost crab. Most of the time you see the sand fleas here, but that's a little ghost crab. I haven't seen one of them in a coon's age. But don't worry, they'll get buried when this beach replenishment comes through, which I'll spin around this way. Got a beach replenishment active down in Beach Haven right now. You can see those ships offshore, they're working. They are working on Holyoke Avenue, at least that's where they were yesterday. So if you are going to be going to the beach, looking to kind of get into some surf fishing, put some time in, fishing these pockets here mid-island. It's looking really good here in the town of Pahila Park and Brighton Beach. It's where I live. Walking the beach here. A lot of my reports are from that region. Not saying you have to fish that area, but there's some good looking water. And there's a lot of good looking water on Long Beach Island. But one thing I wanted to share I just got into was the beach replenishment down at Beach Haven. I would not be fishing right where they're doing the stuff or right next to it. You want to, fine, do your thing. Keep safe distance from the construction operation. But I just want to share right now they are dumping on one of the nicest jetties on LBI that we have left in the surf. That's Holyoke Avenue, and I guess really soon that will be buried, unfortunately. So one thing I would share is that's going down, and it's going to be going on for quite some time here, the next month or so, working in that region. I'm sure they're going to be working north and south there as well. But also they're dredging Barnegat Inlet. The Murden Army Corps of Engineers is sucking some of that sand out with that persistent northeast winds that we had for basically the better part of all of September. That really drug down a lot of sand from, say, the northern beaches north of Barnegat Inlet, brought that sand all down the beach. It slid right over top, washed over top of that north jetty and into the channel and really shoaled up. It's nothing near, say, the radical shoaling there was in Manasquan Inlet, say, a month or two ago. However, there is some shoaling happening, and they got, I guess, some funding or however they figured this out, but they've got that Murden in there. It's doing the maintenance, sucking it, putting it on the deck of the boat like it does, and then it drives out. It looks like it's been dropping that a little bit offshore, but near shore off of Loveladies, Barnegat Light area, and then they go back and forth doing that process. They've been doing it 24/7. I've seen them do it in the middle of the night. I see them doing it during the day, mornings, afternoons. Seems to me that nighttime they're really working the middle of the channel. During the daytimes when there's more boat activity, they're working more of the sides, more so the middle part, where if anybody who's transited Barnegat, anybody who's been through there before knows there used to be a green marker in the middle, the buoy. That's been gone for quite a few months. And I think it's buoy 11. I could be wrong, but I think it's another buoy 11. Basically from the green to the green, that one's there, and that's kind of at the turn, the west side of the inlet, sort of straight north of the lighthouse. That buoy's there. There's also a red more to the west of that. But from that green to the old green that used to be in the middle, they're basically working that shoal in the middle part of the inlet, kind of eating that up, chewing it down, and spitting it out up here off the beach. So just wanted to kind of share a little information in that regard. One thing I can also share is the surf is going to be on the smaller side today, but like I said, is a little bit of an energy, say in the 2-foot range. You see coming across the sandbars here at the low incoming tide. There's also an incoming swell. I think it's going to be Fridays when it peaks in the 3 to 5 foot, 3 to 4, 3 to 5 foot range. East-southeast swell is coming. I'm pretty sure it's a combo, so I think it's like an easterly and an east-southeast. So we'll hopefully see some more whitewater throughout this week. Nothing too crazy and big like it was previous weekend. That was a really gnarly swell, big powerful swell. We had a big low pressure cranking offshore. Basically looked like a hurricane, but it wasn't, just twisting and spinning. And yes, there wasn't crazy winds on land, but there were those heavy swell, heavy winds offshore gave us big energy. that fetch blew in and we had days and days of energy. It's still lasting today, Wednesday, and that was from, say, Friday, Saturday last week, actually Thursday, Friday. But yes, there will be some swell coming. Tomorrow, it's going to increase a little bit into Friday. I'm hoping we have an awesome weekend here. We're kind of getting to the end, or let's say later part or end part of October. Looking forward to some better quality striped bass fishing happening in local waters. Like I mentioned, there's other opportunities with striped bass in the surf. They're few and far between, but there are some around. Like I mentioned, a couple just got caught up in the inlet. Also in the bay side, I mentioned the sea bass, tog, porgies, probably still a few weak fish around. With the colder temperatures that we had, say before this little warm spell, the water temperature in the bay dropped down. That has bounced back some. I think most of the summertime critters have exited the bay, trying to fill the spot pen with live spot. I think that game is far over. Also blowfish, there's probably just a few stragglers left. I know I did hear a report about a week or so ago when I said they were exiting. Somebody messaged me and they said, yeah, I actually caught a couple of blowfish in the inlet. So that's a perfect picture being painted that those fish are exiting the area, and that was a week or so ago. I'm not saying they all exited, but for the most part, I think most of the blowfish are gone. The kingfish action has been very, very slow since, I'd say, 2 weeks ago. In the past, say, week or two, things have definitely slowed down in that regard. Bluefish action definitely slowed down as well with that declining of the mullet run. So right now, that's basically what's happening here in Long Beach Island. If you're looking to get geared up and get in on the fun action this fall, get in some fun fall fishing, stop by Fisherman's Headquarters. We'll get you geared up. We're open 7 days a week, located in Ship Bottom. Once again, I'm Greg. Have a great day.